Of all the planets, Mars has a particular hold on the human imagination. Its barren beauty has been revealed to us over the past decade. In spite of the discoveries made by NASA's sophisticated rovers, Bas Lansdorp, co-founder of Mars One, believes the red planet needs human pioneers. He intends to launch 4 of them on the long journey to Mars in September 2022.
7 months later, in April 2023, the humans will land on Mars, the next giant leap for mankind.
If it happens, it will be a giant leap indeed for those who make the voyage, because there is no plan for a return trip.
Mars One invites you to join us.
The Mars One website describes how robots and rovers will establish a settlement on Mars before the first humans arrive. A Nobel Prize-winning physicist, Dr. Gerhard 't Hooft, has become a supporter in spite of his early doubts.
My first reaction was, I think like anyone who will be confronted with such an idea, this will never work.
But clearly there is no shortage of people who want it to work. Mars One says more than 78,000 have sent in videos seeking to become the first Martian settlers.
Mars One is more or less a no-brainer.
Welcome to Serenity One.
Paul Leeming from Australia seemed already on his way.
Why would I leave Earth to go and live on another planet never to return?
The answer to that question may be found in the mystique of Mars, which has been so strikingly captured by NASA's rovers. Or perhaps it's just a human desire not to let robots have all the adventures. For CBS This Morning, John Blackstone, San Francisco.
Bas Lansdorp, who you just saw in John's report, is the CEO and co-founder of Mars One. He joins us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Why Mars?
Yeah. And is there a mall on Mars?
Are there cronuts on Mars?
There are no cronuts on Mars, no moles yet.
Okay.
But Mars is, of all the places where humans can go next, Mars is the least difficult. It's very complex to go to Mars, but it's less complex than Venus, it's less complex than Jupiter. It's better to create a permanent settlement on Mars than on the Moon. The Moon is very difficult to stay for a long time. So Mars is just the least complex, and Mars is the next giant leap for mankind. It's the only place we can go.
I don't think I'm signing up for this trip, but there's some people I'd like to sign up for it.
Yeah.
But have you actually picked out a spot where you're going to put this colony?
Well, we don't have the exact spot yet, but we know whereabouts it will be, because you need enough solar power, so you need to be far enough south to have enough energy for your solar panels, and you need to be far enough north, because on the equator there's not enough water in the soil, so you need a sweet spot between far south and far north to be in the right position.
Now, Buzz, you are not one of the people who has signed up because...
Well, I started this because I wanted to go, but my girlfriend's expecting, and so I'm basically not allowed to go.
Yes, yeah.
Nice cop-out. Yes, I like that.
That's very good. That's very good dad behavior.
That's the only reason we're having the child.
But we saw in the piece that so far 78,000 people have signed up, and that was 10 days after you've made the announcement.
Yeah.
I would imagine that you've gotten more applications.
Absolutely. They keep coming in, and people can still apply.
What's the number that you've gotten so far?
I'm not going to tell you the number we have now, because we're going to announce that in a nice big press release later on this month, but it's still a steady amount of people that's applying, and we're closing the application period on the 31st of August. So
what do you think, Gail? Press release or CBS This Morning? Press release, CBS This Morning.
I was thinking that too, but okay, we'll respect you.
So these people ultimately are going to have to go through 7 years of training.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, and the reason is, it's not just training. We need to teach them all the engineering skills to repair everything, the medical skills to help each other, the botanical skills to grow their food. But the most important thing is they are on their own for the rest of their lives. This is a mission of permanent settlement. There's new groups coming every 2 years, but you need to be the right person to do this, and we need to test that for a very extended period of time.
Okay, just a second. Gail just looked at me like, what?
For the rest of their lives?
It's a one-way ticket.
You're not coming back, Gail.
It's a one-way ticket.
How will they communicate with people from Earth?
Well, there's communication satellites already around Mars, but we'll send our own dedicated communication satellite. So that means that they will always be able to send email, voicemail, video mail, but they will never be able to have a normal telephone conversation.
Are you going to test that these people actually who go up will like each other before they go?
Yeah, that is the 7 years of training, is making sure that these groups are the right groups to go together.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I understand that correctly, that if you go on this mission, you are not coming back.
Yes, and it sounds very dramatic at first, but don't forget.
No, it sounds very dramatic because it is very dramatic. No, it doesn't just sound, it is.
It is
You're
very
asking
dramatic,
a lot.
but don't forget how the Earth was populated. It was done in the same way. People left their families behind forever, and it's only in the last 50 years that you can buy a ticket anywhere. But before that, this wasn't possible, and our applicants will have the ability to communicate with home. But when you migrated to Australia from Europe, you could only send a letter.
Would you become a Martian?
In time, you would become a Martian because you would adapt to the Martian gravity. So you would lose bone mass and muscle mass. Okay. So in time, you would not even be able to come back, even if the rocket to return existed.
Okay, we just want to make sure people understand that. There's no moles, there's no cronuts, and he ain't coming back. Thank you, Buzz. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
I'll be very
much.
curious to see how this.
Mars One will establish human settlement on Mars in 2023. In that year, the first group of 4 humans will land on Mars. Every 2 years after that, another group will join the settlement.
My first impression was that this is an extraordinary project by people with vision and imagination. But my first reaction was, I think like anyone who will be confronted with such an idea, this will never work. But now look and listen more closely. This is really something that can be achieved. I think this might become a most spectacular media event ever, watched by everyone on the globe.
1972 was the last time that humans walked on the moon. No human has ever gone as far as Mars. Mars One has designed a mission that is much simpler than previous designs for Mars missions. The most significant simplification is that the crew is actually going to stay and live on Mars with the intention to remain there for the rest of their lives.
We will finance this mission by creating the biggest media event ever around it. Everybody in the world can see everything that will happen in the preparations and on Mars.
This is going to be a media spectacle. Big Brother will pale in comparison. The whole world will be watching and experience this journey.
Mars One paid visits to major aerospace companies around the world. In these meetings, they confirmed to us that they can supply the required equipment. For every component, we have at least one potential supplier. All these suppliers have written letters of interest for Mars One.
As for financing, this is going to be a private enterprise. Only private firms are going to contribute. No political mumbo-jumbo, no taxpayers' money will be involved. Only people like myself and many others who are enthusiastic about the program will contribute.
This is the plan. In 2016, a communication satellite and a supply mission will be sent to Mars. In 2018, a large planetary rover will be sent to Mars. It will drive around on Mars to find the best location for the settlement.
In 2020, living units, life support units, a rover, and more supplies will be sent to Mars. The rovers will prepare the settlement for human arrival. They will extract the inflatable section from the living unit. The life support unit will prepare the outpost for arrival of the humans. The crew will depart in September 2022, when the settlement is fully operational and habitable. They will be flying to Mars in a transit habitat with a lander attached to it.
7 months later, in April 2023, the humans will land on Mars, the next giant leap for mankind.
This project seems to be the only way to fulfill humanity's dream to explore outer space. It is going to be an exciting experiment. Let's get started.
Mars One invites you to join us in this great adventure. For more information, visit mars-one.com.